and it's throwing me off because I'm thinking it's TJQ, Adam in Tecumseh, and I'm thinking I didn't hear Adam. So I got to pay more attention. So Mark, thanks very much for checking in. Always good to hear your melodious tones, as is your neighbor just down the street and down in height. Over to you, Brian, VA3 BVH, VE3 or VC3 Winternet.
Yeah, roger that, Bill, and the rest of the group. VA3 BVH. You can now reach me at 11754 on HH. Just start to familiarize myself with the system and figuring out how it works. So thanks for running that tonight, Bill, and we'll hopefully be chatting with you on the VoIP line soon. Back to you, and yeah, the white stuff is starting in Leamington. Back to you there, Bill. We'll catch everybody tomorrow night when we run some trivia. VA3 BVH. Back to you, Bill.
Very good. Okay. Well, yes, and Brian touched on HH, Ham Radio Hotline. Brian went out and bought himself a Cisco VoIP phone and got it all set up and registered the whole 9 yards. So we'll listen for your melodious telephone call, so to speak. Brian, very good. Welcome to Winternet tonight, and it truly is a winternet out there. Take care, stay warm. Bill, VE3BOK in Amherstburg. Bill, how are you?
Good evening, Bill and Winternet. VE3BOK here in Amherstburg. A couple of comments. I'm not sure if Mark's getting the snow first or not, despite his height. Here in Amherstburg, the snow is coming down sideways, so I think we're all getting it at the same time. On the subject of, what was it? Oh yeah, HH. I also got myself activated there. I'm 14711 and 14715. Got myself 2 extensions, one for my mobile device. And this may, let me buy a minute here. Okay, and I just was going to mention that I spent the better part of the afternoon of this holiday on 20-meter FT8, and boy, things were really popping this afternoon. Worked all kinds of neat stuff. So that was kind of fun. I think I'm kind of getting hooked on this FT8 stuff. Back to net, VC3 Winternet from VE3BOK.
Excellent. Well, you touched on a bunch of things there, but one of the things that's going on is that with the changes happening to the lockdown. It looks like we're going to be allowed to have up to 25 people outdoors. So no, we're not going to have a meeting of the Sun Parallel Amateur Radio Club tomorrow. But the point being that the world is starting to open up again. Hopefully not opening up to one of the many variants of the COVID-19 virus that are out there, but we're slowly opening up. So I think you're going to start seeing a number of things vis-a-vis the Sun Parallel Amateur Radio Club, and I'm sure the other clubs as well. We're looking at a number of meetings, probably for sure May and June, maybe even April if the weather looks good. And we're looking at some demos, talks about things. We got to get people back to come out to the meetings, and We haven't really had a meeting now since September, and before that it was, I think, back in February. So it's time to get the clubs moving again eventually, and FT8 and some of the digital modes are certainly one of the things that we will be discussing at club meetings of the Spark later this spring and summer. So, and with all that said, I've had a number of people asking about Field Day and about SparkFest 9. At this point, we're looking at Field Day, of course. I believe it's the third weekend of June. I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but Field Day will be happening this year, and we are hopefully going to have a traditional Field Day. Mike V3 UCY has volunteered the use of his side lot, part of the acreage of the CSLE estate, and so we're looking at Field Day at Mike's house this year, SparkFest as well. Right now we're looking at the August date, at a second Sunday of August. That's tentative right now because we got to see a number of things, especially what's the what's the pandemic going to be like, but we are looking at having SparkFest 9 this year. The assumption is that the state of Ohio will be opening up and hopefully the border by then, and we would assume then that the Finley swap will be back on their traditional first Sunday after Labor Day. And that's the Sunday we held SparkFest last year, so we don't want to be in the conflict with that. So we're looking at the August date. So lots of stuff going on for the Spark. And Bill, welcome to Ham Radio Hotline. More on that later. Rick, V3 Papa Victor, who I also understand is going with HH. So Rick, over to you.
Yes, good evening, Bill, everybody else on net here. That's true. And I've been emailing with UCY there regarding that, Bill H. And I was wondering, it sounded like that you're assigned a number, an HH phone number. I know yours, but it sounded like I'm going to be assigned one. I thought we were able to choose our own, but I guess I'll find out. I was hoping that Mike would be checking in here. As the snow comes down here in Riverside, so most likely 6 to 10 inches. Back to you, Bill, VE3TV.
Yes, that is the case. They assigned you the ID number, and that's what you go with. I have the elite number for the 11-meter triple nickel, which is one of my handles from back in the day. We all know who Shoelace is, but I was triple nickel way back. That's about the amount of power I used to run, and on the 11-meter band, so I lucked out at the elite number 11555. So can't beat that. And hopefully we'll have Mike in here in a little bit. Let's go to the list. Next on the list is Scott, V3DMZ or Z, depending on which side of the border you're on. Scott, over to you.
VC3 Internet. Bill, thanks so much for calling me in. Yeah, when you live your life this close to Detroit, you never know whether it's Z or a Z, that's for sure. Or whether you measure temperature in F or C. Just hunkered down, waiting for this crap to be over. And as the about 3 callers ago, or 3 stations ago, they were talking about FT8. I just started playing with that about 3 days ago and having a lot of fun. Just pulling a dipole throughout the house right now, much to my wife's enjoyment, and making some contacts, having some fun. Can't wait to get out when the weather clears up a bit and pull it up in the trees and see what I can really do. It's on 20 meter right now. Anyway, I'll throw it back to you. Carry on. Thanks a lot. Everybody stay warm, stay safe. VA3 DMZ.
Scott, I gotta ask, how long have you been married?
Ooh, quite a while. I should probably know that right off the bat, but it's about over 20 years.
Yeah, there was hesitation. I've done my 20 years so far. The point being that you're stringing antennas up and all that, and I'm sure your wife is looking at you like, but I probably shouldn't go any further than that. Very good, Scott. More antennas, and this is perfect weather. And I want to say that historically, the best time to put an antenna up would be a night like tonight in the middle of a blowing snowstorm when subarctic weather temps, because the antennas go up faster and they work better. So just keep that in mind. Scott, thanks very much for checking in tonight. And last but certainly not least on the current list is Jeff, VA3GYB. Jeff, good evening.
VC3 Internet. This is VA3JYB. Hi, Bill, and hello to everybody else that's on. Not much to report for today. I got out and picked up some groceries, things like that. You never know what things are going to be like when they start opening tomorrow. The weather, just watching out the window and seeing it come down, so that might slow down a bit of it. Otherwise, checked into the SodaNet last night for the first time, and watched one of the webinars on Fusion from Hamcation, which was fairly interesting, very different now with inability, obviously, to get to any of these places. That's about it. Not too much. Finally worked my way into DMR. I had gotten Anytone 878 handheld before Christmas, and finally getting things put into the code plug. So some help online through Facebook, through the Border City group, which is very helpful. Let me know that the repeaters weren't working originally. But now everything seems to be working good, and everything's showing up on my screen, so very much appreciated from anyone who helped out in that regard. Other than that, everybody try and stay safe with the winter weather, and hope to hear everybody again soon. This is VA3JYB, and 7-3 guys.
Excellent. Yes, the Anytone HT, there's quite a number of those locally. It's become the go-to radio. At the start, everybody was coming on the air with, almost everybody had Motorola handhelds. There's a few of us had the Yaesu standard, or the Vertex standard, I should say, HDs. That's what I'm on right now, and a few guys had went with the Hytera product. And but the more and more I hear people getting new handhelds, and it's almost always the Anytone. So quite the radio. So very good. Pleased to hear that you're looking at all sorts of different aspects of the hobby. Lots to be done. Jeff, stand aside where it's warm. We'll talk. So at this point, let's open it up. Do we have any further check-ins for the Essex Kent Winter DMR local net? Please call net control, and that would be me, Bill, and the call tonight is Victor Charlie 3, Whiskey November Tango Radio, November Echo Tango. That is VC3 Winternet. Go ahead. One more time, any further check-ins, more check-ins for the Essex Kent Winter DMR local net? Please call Net Control VC3 WinterNet.
VE3TOM.
Okay, Jerry, V3EXT in LaSalle. Anybody else? Anybody anywhere from VC3 WinterNet?
Echo X-ray Tango.
Yes, I acknowledged you. Anybody else? Anybody anywhere from VC3 WinterNet? Slow night tonight, Jerry. Over to you. How's life in LaSalle? Over to you, Jerry. EXT from VE3ES.
Oh, I think my scan circuit took you out. Good evening, all, and good evening, Bill. Doing a great job here, just playing around, trying to get something working on the workbench. Keeping busy, and just echoing Jeff's comments there. I spent a bit of time on the weekend listening to some of the Hamcation webinars as well. So anybody interested, just go to Orlando Hamcation, HAMCATION. And there's various webinars that were done under vendors, technical, I forget the other ones. There's 4 categories, and some of them are quite interesting, actually. So with that, Bill, back to you.
Excellent, very good. Jerry, you're not down south this weekend. Jerry and many others would normally historically be down in the Orlando area, either for the winter or for the big event. I had comms yesterday with Brett via email, that is. We swapped emails with Brett, V3 Fox Mike Echo, V3 FME. He and Linda's bride are in, I guess they're in, I was going to say Orlando, but no, he's more towards Tampa. And he said it was around 80 degrees. He's been walking around in his shorts and enjoying the great weather down in Florida. So he's thinking of us. He's thinking he's missing the snow. With that, we'll open it up. Any further check-ins for the Essex Kent Winter DMR local net? Please call Net Control VC3 WinterNet. Okay, I think we covered all the things I wanted to talk about tonight. A little bit about HH, Ham Radio Hotline, and I thought I heard my phone ringing here for a second, but apparently not. Lots of snow coming down tonight, and FT8, all sorts of things going on in the great world of ham radio. Orlando Hamcation did not happen this weekend, but as Jerry and Jeff and others noted, they've had a big series of webinars to celebrate. Their QSO party was on the air on Saturday. And the next big one will normally historically be the Toledo swap in March. I think this year it's on the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. 14th of March, so I don't see anybody from this area in attendance, and that's assuming that they actually run it, but who knows? We'll find out. So one more time, let's see if anybody else is out there tonight. Any further check-ins for the net, please call VC3 WinterNet.
VE3TOM.
Okay, we got John, TIZ. Anybody else? Anybody anywhere from VC3 Winternet? John, the floor is yours. What's happening on the north end of South Walkerville?
Well, I just came downstairs and read my email, and believe it or not, those blasts you send out are helpful. It's easy to forget when the nets are. There's so many of them, so the reminders are definitely appreciated. Anyhow, just looking out the window occasionally, I'm kind of having a waiting game right now at the funeral home. They usually run their four-wheeler up and down the sidewalk on Kilver, and I'm kind of waiting for them to do that. If they don't, it looks like they won't be. I'll probably push the snow thrower out there and do it myself, but we're kind of fortunate that way, Bill. They're good neighbors, very good neighbors indeed. So anyhow, nothing really to say, just listening the rest of the way on the net. 7-3 Bill and everyone on frequency. VE3TOM from the poor side of South Walkerville.
That's the side I'm on. Well, it's interesting. My neighbor, this morning I was out doing our walks, and the neighbor, she got out her snowblower. And I'm thinking, what do you got that out? There's like an inch of snow. And she got it all up and running, the whole 9 yards, making a lot of racket. And then she put it away. And I thought, well, what was the point of that? And then she said something to me about making sure that it was ready for tomorrow's big snowstorm. And I didn't think anything of it. And I thought, was she kidding? And because I didn't realize we were supposed to get 6 to 10 inches of the white stuff. So hopefully she takes pity on her elderly neighbor and comes over and does his sidewalk. John, thank you very much for checking in tonight. Glad that the email reminders are of use. Let's open it up one more time. Anybody, anywhere for the DMR net, please call VC3 Winternet. Okay, well, we'll do one more call, but otherwise, I think we're nearing the end. I've been sitting here watching the CAN Turbo, the Control Center CAN Turbo Core, and it's in effect it's the old last heard list. Everybody checking in, popping up who they are and where they're at. And by that I mean what repeater they're on, or are they on a hotspot? What talk group are they on? Quite interesting. And thanks to Don V3WFD for passing that along. And I'll send that out shortly. Get that information out. So again, don't forget that we're back connected with all the various talk groups, Ontario, Canada, all your favorites, so you can get on and maybe we can find Andre up in Toronto. Anyway, with that said, one more time, and if there's nobody else, we'll call it a night. Any further check-ins for the Essex Kent Winter DMR local net from VC3 WNTRNET.
You check V3PV.
Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, Bill. You kind of answered my question anyway about the assignment of the double H numbers there. Since you have 111-555. The way you lucked out getting one of your favorite numbers there, the triple nickel. So I thought you chose that. So that explains it. I'll wait for my assigned number.
Yeah, it's funny because they started with numbers, with low numbers, when UCY and WFT and all these guys got it. They're all like 50, they're 4-digit, 5,700, something like 5,600. And then they jumped a whole bunch of numbers, and my registration and a few others were 11,000 series, and DOK, and I think Brian BVH, they're in the 14,000. So there is an explosive amount of growth, but in HH, but a lot of it's they're jumping around with their registration. So hang in there. I think the guy that does it every few days. It's unlike AT&T or Bell Canada. They don't have anybody that's making a living doing this. So I think they take their time. The guy that does it looks after it. He'll eventually get back to you, and you'll be all set.
Oh yeah, well that's similar to the Grandmeister network. All volunteers, hams, to take care of that. So, and then the other thing was the Wallaceburg repeater. I think is back in Wallaceburg, like Mother Canada in Sarnia for a while, but the last I heard, he brought it back to the Wallaceburg location, YFU.
Yeah, I talked to him, I forget when it was, and I'm positive he said he had got it back to the girlfriend's house, and but he changed the antenna. He was playing around with everything, so it might be in Sarnia by now. But it sounded like he only had it like on a mag-mount antenna up on the roof of the garage, so I don't think there's going to be too much activity on that repeater in Sarnia. But it's slowly but surely. He was telling me that he wants to. He's going to buy a new antenna for it and a few other things. So, no, it was a duplexer. He was looking for a duplexer. I think there were duplexer issues, so he was going to do that. So who knows? Like we had just said, a bunch of volunteers.
Exactly. Yep. So other than that, my son is volunteering to do the snow blowing. We have a snow blower in the garage. Yeah, a few hours ago he had it out, starting it up, making sure that it's going to work. And since he's going to make a pass later on tonight there with it, and tomorrow morning he has to go across town to work, so he'll be up early snow blowing the driveway and the sidewalks and what have you. So better him than me.
Yeah, exactly. I was out and about, and I moved the car to minimize the amount of snow that I got to shovel. Put it off to the side, and it had been snowing for about half an hour, and it was already piling up. So it's going to be a good one. Anyway, Rick, I'll let you carry on, and let's listen one last time. Last call, absolutely the last call. For the and I see Henry's up on VA3HRY is up on Canada. So anybody else here on local talk group for the DMR net on local from VC3 Winternet. Okay, well, I guess that's it. We'll say good evening to all, and thanks to the dozen who did check in tonight. Appreciate it. It's a good night to stay inside and pop popcorn and play ham radio and stay warm. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So, gang, carry on. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Brian, VA3BVH, will be around with the Sun Parallel Amateur Radio Club Tuesday night, FM net. That's at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Wednesday, of course, at 220 net at 12:50 in the afternoon, followed by the Chatham Can Amateur Radio Club net at 7:30 on the 146.68 repeater in Chatham. Thursday, the two big nets on Thursday, the net on Triple I at 7:30 and the net on Triple Z at 10 p.m. So the nets are rolling right along. Everybody take care. 7-3. Thanks for checking in tonight. This is Victor Charlie 3 Whiskey November Tango Radio, November Echo Tango, VC3 Winternet 7-3.